Yeah, it's
okay. So Greg and Scott here for Party Foul. We got nobody behind the camera because it's not needed, and we're gonna do a little quick summary on our stupid opinions that don't matter on the state of the meta.
Don't watch this video because we don't know what we're talking about. But we're going to talk about our little meta anyways.
Yes, it's going to obviously be colored by our experiences within Southern Ontario.
And we'll probably argue because we see it very differently.
Yes, because you play Khador.
We have a stupid chat group with like, what, 8, 9 of us?
Yeah, maybe. Minimum. yeah.
And I got to the point where I'm just like, I can't listen to you guys complain about rockets anymore. For the love of God. He plays Circle.
Oh, no.
And he's still complaining. I just can't handle it.
All right. So let's just
back up.
Summarize the meta without specifically referencing a faction. What defines the meta in your opinion?
Range.
Okay.
Range is dominant right now.
Right.
And themes. Themes are dominant right now.
Are they calling them
no,
themes?
They're themes.
They're theme
They
forces.
are not tiers. You're marked
okay. All right.
Still casual.
Right.
They're called themes.
They're called themes.
Yes.
Okay.
Some people will correct you when you say tiers.
Yes.
Not us. We don't care. We know what you're talking about when you say tiers.
So you say range. Yes. Well, I definitely
range list definitely.
I definitely sort of agree with that. That the gun is definitely defining a lot of choices that people are making. On the upside to that, extreme threat ranges is something else I would sort of say defines the meta, not only in terms of guns but also in terms of melee, because it's
if you can project your
people that are trying to run melee forces are trying to out-threat the guns in terms of their threat ranges or that type of thing. So okay, well we're on the same page in terms of that.
Okay, yes.
So within that framework, let's talk about each faction and sort of where they sit within our personal experience of the meta. So Cygnar.
Okay. Go ahead.
You want me to go ahead?
Sure, why not?
Okay, I think Cygnar is definitely in a good spot. They can bring a lot of guns and stuff like that.
Now, when you say good spot, do you feel it broken? Do you think...
No. I don't feel they're broken. I think their theme lists are maybe a little too good, or I don't know. It's difficult to tell because they're new. A lot of people are playing them, and there's maybe good things to that, but most of the time it seems like the benefits that they're getting from their theme forces are too good to not take, or that the restrictions are too minimal.
I try to think about like Mark II, and remember like Crix was so dominant.
Yeah.
You always had to have a Crix list. But the reason for that was everybody was playing Crix. Why did Crix win so many tournaments? Because everybody was playing Crix. You'd go to a tournament with 20 people, and there could be 6 people playing Crix. So, yeah, it makes sense. So we're in a similar situation, but we're not used to seeing it. So we're in a situation Mark III where everybody's playing Cygnar. Because
a lot of people.
Cygnar's good. So Cygnar's winning tournaments, but you go to a tournament of 20 people and 6 people are playing Cygnar. It's the same thing, just a different faction. So nobody talks about Crix anymore. Nobody builds a Crix list anymore. Nobody's playing Crix. You go to a tournament of 20 people, there's one guy, the sus of the group. Hey, Fabio. And he's playing Crix. So it's just people aren't used to seeing Cygnar, so they're complaining about it.
I don't know if I necessarily agree, but
okay,
the things that I'm seeing consistently are Storm Lances.
Yes, because the themes are good, and you take the Storm.
No,
Lances.
they're good without the themes.
Right, but
that makes them even better because everything gets electrical immune, and then you can only hit enemy models with the electro leaps. They threat very, very far. They can kill infantry. They can kill heavies, which is another sort of thing that is defining the meta. I think for me is that people are taking things that can dual purpose, especially when it comes to infantry.
So in the last Muse on Minis podcast, they did talk about a possible nerf on the lightning leaps. Mm-hmm. They're saying that if you shoot a model with electric immunity, it doesn't leap.
Right.
It grounds out there. So
I can kind of see that. We'll see whether or not that applies. But currently,
I don't know if they have inside information or what, if they're, but that's what they're thinking is coming down the pipeline, or that's what they hope comes down the pipeline, which kind of does change it a lot.
Let's not talk about what's going to change or what the potential changes are. Let's talk about where we are now. So Storm Lances, seeing a lot of Haley 2, particularly with Trevi's heavy metal build, lots of robots.
But no Storm Lances in that one.
There's no Storm Lances in that one. No, just lots of heavies with excessive threat ranges. Like we're talking 14 to 16 inches.
14 to 16 inches with a Stormclad. In your face.
In your face, murdering you. And then she feats and you can't do anything about it. Besides that, Nemo 3 with Storm Division
Yeah.
is pretty good because with his feet,
Weapon Master, POW 10s everywhere.
yeah, it kills infantry like crazy and can assassinate on some weird vectors because you can run a Storm Lance somewhere and just do POW 10 Weapon Masters all over their face. Yeah. Anything else? I mean, there's been some Striker 2 still consistently in our meta.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
Haven't seen Kane in a long time.
Kane is gone.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Kane 3 really. Sloan
Sloan a bit,
a
yeah.
little bit, but I think was more because of OTC. They were list locked into Sloan.
Yeah.
So I really haven't seen much of her since then. But I really haven't played much tournaments since
Right.
OTC. So it'll be interesting to see.
So that's Signar, still very strong. Can bring the guns, can bring the control, can kill infantry and heavies equally well. Okay, Protectorate of Menoth.
They still play?
We have a bit of a vacuum for
In our
Protector
group
meta.
here, there's one guy who hasn't come out that often playing, like Warren. That's about it. But I mean, nobody else is really playing the faction. So
No. The stuff that I have seen at
Frank
tournaments
is still playing though.
Yeah. Ammon.
I haven't seen it yet.
No, not a ton.
I
but
keep hearing about how good it is, but I haven't seen it on the table yet.
Yeah. Resnick 2 a while ago, but I don't know how popular he is.
And there's some double vision dude who can put vision on something.
Yes, that's
and
the Eye
Menoth
of
has vision or
Truth
something,
and
yeah.
Sevi 2, right?
Which is supposed to be really
Vision.
good because you can put him up there and he's like almost unkillable.
Yes. Well, you can negate 2 damage rolls. So you can basically put Enliven on him, get old school Enliven, where you put Enliven on him, you negate the charge attack damage roll,
With vision.
and then it's not vision, it's oracular vision.
He's
Yeah,
got
yeah.
one, and then the spell,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
another one, so he actually has 2, so he can...
And then you back up out of the melee range and you negate the damage roll from the free strike. So you're getting out of dodge for free. So yes, unless you have some way to disrupt him, to remove the focus, you can negate 2 damage rolls, making him extremely difficult to deal with. Beyond that, I guess we've seen a rapid decline of High Reclaimer.
Yeah. Well, you say Mouth is very...
Just not around in our
Yeah.
meta anyways. They may have a lot of game, I don't know. Something that's kind of hurt them in Mark III is that the battle doesn't affect their ranged attacks, so they're not exactly competitive in the ranged environment.
You can't out Signar.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
The Passage is still so good.
Passage is good. There's no doubt
So
about
good.
it. But
Magical weapons is so hard to find.
But Choir are hard to keep alive. Okay, so that's Protectorate in our meta. Khador.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of Khador out here.
A lot of Khador.
A lot of Khador. It's funny when you see other tournaments and not in the Southern Ontario area, and the Khador's not dominating because you come here and Khador is
Yeah, a lot.
is the top, 3, not always 1, 2, 3, but they're always up there anyways.
So what's dominating Khador right now? Khador usage.
That's all themes.
Themes?
Yeah.
Which is good and bad. I mean, a good thing about the themes is that the Khador players have got away from running Reinhold, and as a circle player or any sort of player that has stealth available, you can actually start running that stuff now. You still got to worry about all the blast damage and whatnot. But
I'm sure when I post this, it's already past Khador Christmas, but the Seer comes out today.
yes, give magic and blessed weapons. So yes, okay, we'll talk about other stuff, but Khador. Okay, so we got the themes. They're very prevalent right now. All of them actually. The Winter Guard one because
They're all, yeah.
the Winter Guard one because it's got the sack pawn and free stuff. The Jack one because you get free shit and you negate your opponent's advanced deployment.
That's pretty good.
Yes.
That's a good circle answer.
Yeah, it is. And the other one is the Pikeman one.
Yeah.
Which is get free shit and advance move, and I don't know what I can't remember.
I haven't tried it yet, but I only have...
It looks pretty scary. It's
22
like 36
pikemen,
freaking
so,
pikemen, and if you play them within a Rusk or something, and they're tough and can't be knocked down, or they're 4+ tough and can't be knocked down and his feet turn, and crazy stuff like that. Rockets, definitely. And
Lots of rockets.
Winter Guard Rifle Corps definitely defining the ranged game quite a bit. I mean, all that shit threatens 20 inches, and if you play it with Vlad 1, it's incredibly accurate and incredibly damaging.
Sounds important. Who knew?
Yeah. In terms of Warjacks, the Marauder is like all over the
Marauder
fucking place.
is the new Mad Dog, but it's PP's fault for nerfing the Mad Dog so hard.
I don't know about that.
Oh, come on. Don't
They
even get me
buffed
started.
the Marauder.
Yeah, they totally buffed the Marauder.
Yeah.
But they hammered that. I mean, for one point, why would you ever take a Mad Dog?
I-
The fact that it blows up, you're just like, well, I just lost
Yes.
almost 10% of my army
Yes.
when I boosted an attack. So
And I
spent
really
2
have a
points.
problem with the fact that the Marauder gets an additional die on huge bases because it's punishing people that are bringing a cool centerpiece model, you know.
But it's so slow.
No, it's not. All the casters that Khador players are using with them can project those Marauders excessively far, right? Out-threat Circle War Beasts by a considerable margin and that type of thing. So, okay, so in terms of lists that we've been seeing with Khador, there's Vlad 1 Gunline, where he's running like 5 Jacks that he can project to like 14 inches.
5 Jacks, 12 rockets, or 5 Jacks, 9 rockets?
9 rockets, yeah. It's 9 rockets. And then like a mortar and a field gun or something like that. So it's an extremely accurate, extremely damaging range threat. And then it's got the Jacks that can be projected and they hit like Mack trucks. Other than that,
it's a wide variety. Everything's being used. That's what's nice about it.
What
I mean, things
I don't see
don't
Spriggans.
see.
I don't see Beasts.
No, but I mean, it's like the caster-wise. Like, I don't see, like, Sorcerer 2, but, I mean, I play Sorcerer a lot, so for Sorcerer 1. But everybody's, like, you see, still see Karchev, you still see Harkovich, you still see, like, everybody's playing everything, pretty much.
And is that because their caster base is so good, or is that because the tools that they have in Rockets, Winter Guard, and Marauders are so good?
I think it's the latter. I think it's because all the other stuff is so good that you can take a caster that maybe isn't used as often, and they just have to help out a little bit, and it lets you do something different than what the other casters can do. Yeah. Which is what I like, because I feel like Circle can do that very easily by changing their casters. The same list will be totally
Circle can't use 90% of their casters in this meta.
Maybe on this meta.
Anyways, okay, so that's Khador. Khador is definitely the big bugaboo in our meta. I feel like we're missing out on one of the lists or something. So yeah, the Rusk Pikeman, definitely coming in. Harkovich, that's the main ones. A little bit of the other casters here and there, but nothing huge. Okay, so Crix.
Again, very small. In our little group, we have 2 guys playing it, so we started to get some games against it, but in an overall tournament scene, there's very...
Yes, I've been to a number of tournaments where there are no Crix players, which is like...
Which, if you saw earlier, 6 out of 20 used to be, but now it's down to 1.
I didn't have my first game against Crix at a tournament until like 4 or 5 months in, or something like that. It was pretty sad.
But Tonguana's back on the Crix train.
And there's been
won
some stuff.
2 local tournaments, first 2 he went to, and it wasn't like he beat on Baby Seals. Like Trevi and JVM were both there.
Yes,
and he won. So
I don't know if he played JVM. I know he played Trevi.
I don't know.
So in terms of lists, we're seeing the Ghost Fleet is definitely clicking.
Is that the only theme they have so far? I think it is.
Yes.
I think it's the only one. So maybe we're hoping to. I mean, I've got Crix. If the Bane theme is good.
Well, they're also CIDing the beans.
Yeah,
so there could be some improvements there.
I'm hoping that maybe I get to play some Crix.
So in terms of Ghost Fleet with Denny is very popular. I don't know if you've really seen played. I mean, online I've seen other people playing Ghost Fleet with other random junk
and stuff like that. Yeah.
Here it's Denny. Witch Coven.
Witch Coven's still solid, I think.
Yeah, mainly to mitigate the range threat and close the gap, and they have a very strong assassination game. Anything else? Oh, Scar with the Incorporeal Skew double Wraith engine sort of thing. It's if you're not prepared for it, you don't have the magical weapons. It can be very difficult to deal with. So that's Crix. I'm hoping they make a bit of a comeback so that they can at least temper down some of the ranged game, anyways. Although I don't know.
Well, remember when like that little errata came out? They were like, "Yeah, we're going to address Crix," and they're into gun lines, and they're like, "Root thralls get shield guard."
Woohoo!
You're like, "Wow, that wasn't very good."
No, although Fabio was going to try that. Is there another tier that gives mech thralls ambush? There is. There's something that gives mech thralls ambush because he was talking about that.
Yeah, that's still Ghost Fleet, isn't it?
Does it really? Nobody ever takes the mech thralls. Okay.
That's like
how much we know about Crix now. Okay, so that's Crix. We're hoping they make a big comeback and affect the meta. Retribution of Zira.
So whatever happened to Austin?
Oh, he's gone.
One little change.
He lost
to that card.
No, there was 2 changes. There was Deadeye changed to Fortune, and he had something else that was fuck, I can't remember. Some other spell.
I thought that was it. Okay, whatever. But anyways, bye.
Yeah.
I think Ret is still in a great place. They're still solid.
Yeah. I think
the Helios. Oh my god.
Yes. Helios is definitely pretty scary.
The fact that it has this dual attack ability where it can like trample up the field.
Yep. And then start tractor beaming.
And it's just like, I'm just going to move you this
actually, no, you can't trample, I don't think. Because you have to forfeit your initials. So you can't make initial ranged attacks. You can charge something.
No, I'm pretty sure they were trampling and doing it. Because it gets its attacks, I think. I don't know. I have to see if people cheated me then.
Because the power attack state, you have to forfeit your initials.
Anyways. Maybe dual attacks as you get them still, because you...
It can make. Anyways,
We don't know what we're talking. We don't play with Helios.
you can charge with Helios. I know that much
Yeah.
to get the extra threat, and then tractor beam some shit in, and it is very, very powerful.
And there's like the double Helios list that just pull you for days.
Because they're stupid cheap in terms of colossals.
It's so fast.
Besides Helios, what we're mostly seeing in terms of Retribution is a lot of Kalissa, and she's very strong. And Vyros 2 in the theme with all the shield guard jacks. Yeah, that bricks up really well. Get Disco in there, make immune to blast, and plus 2 armor on range. It's very difficult for those range SKUs to deal with. Anything else that we're seeing a lot of with Retribution?
No, that's about all I've really seen.
Yeah.
They haven't been playing their 7 casters, 10 casters.
No, not really. And I think Kalissa makes sense because she has a feat that mitigates a lot of problems, like ranged attacks from Khador and Cygnar are going to get shut down by the stealth. The fact that they can't be charged can get units like Sentinels and stuff like that fairly far up the field. So, and she's also capable of shooting anything, anywhere.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right. So Convergence of Cirrus.
Well, now that we have those stupid light jacks all over the place now, what is it?
Galvanizer.
Galvanizers. So thanks, Jason Watts, for creating this shitstorm.
Monster storm.
Oh my god. I honestly, I'm at the point now, I basically refuse to play them.
Oh, this comes from a Khador player.
Yep, there's just absolutely no
the thing
reason.
is, okay, so what we're looking at in terms of what the lists are looking at is, so Lucantor Axis with like 8+ galvanizers, so they're like 5-point jacks, and with Axis they have counter charge and they go very far with his feet and stuff like that. With Lucant, they're extremely resilient to range attacks because of decel. Both of those casters, you would play them in something directive, the Theme Force, that gives free balls, plus 2 inches of deployment, and all the balls have shield guards.
So my problem with the list are the TEPs.
Oh, well, yes, that's the other convergence thing. But those two lists
I don't care about the
are
lights.
standard.
Yeah, I don't care what the
Well, the lights
I
are
don't
just stuff to get in the way.
Right,
So the
I don't
TEPs
care about
can
them.
get-
Yeah. It's the TEPs that are unkillable by ranged.
You can't kill them with ranged.
At all,
Almost
ever.
impossible to get into melee because of the garbage galvanizers that are all in the way.
Why are they unkillable? Well, they come up with their 3 little placeable things at the start of their activation.
Which are sack pawnable.
And they're sack pawnable. So you sack pawn the shot to that, and then shield guard it 3 inches away. It's
Yeah, you can't even hit them with sprays because it's sack pawnable. So it's,
it's just.
And in terms of damage output, they unlike most other battle engines have the ability to destroy infantry, high defense infantry, high armor infantry, and they have the ability to cripple heavies no problem. And that's because they can the Rat 5, which was a buff from Mark II, and POW 11, and they have 3 balls, and they can either put them to an additional die on attack, and they could put all 3, so they could potentially get 5 dice on the attack roll, or they could get 5 dice on the damage roll, or they could put them all in the back and get 3 more sprays for 5 sprays if they want. So I think for me, it's the amount of
5
boosts
dice
that they can
POW
get.
10 hitting a Def 10 Jack. Like it's.
Oh, it's
the Khador ones are just blown off the table.
In Mark II, I played Bradius into it with Wold Watchers at Armor 21, and the thing blows them up because it doesn't have to boost a hit, so it's just 5 dice, barf.
Yeah,
Blow
that's
the crap out
why
of them.
I just basically have said no. I'm done. I'm in this game to play and have some fun, and that's just not fun.
Oh, yeah, you're in this game to play some.
It is,
Mr. Mad Dog Marauders fan.
That was fun. I'm playing hard mode right now. I'm playing Trolls, and
Right.
it is fucking hard. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
Getting my shit pushed.
So
in.
the TEP and the themes are really what's making Convergence right now potentially competitive. And I think within our meta, at least, they're going to be a bit of a surprise because they're extremely resilient to range attacks, and they put out a considerable amount of damage. From
Well,
the
it's like
TEPs.
even my Trolls, if I put them on the table against that list, I just get blown off the table. I'll never get to melee with the TEPs to kill them, and then it's just like, what am I doing? I'm just dead.
Probably.
So why I don't, I'm just like, no, you can have the win.
So they're a bit of a sleeper, I think, right now in terms of our meta. Not a lot of people are playing them. At least not a lot of them are playing them in that sort of Watts style theme, galvanizer TEP sort of thing. So, anyways,
Ugly.
I'm not even considering them in my list building or pairing because
They're so nobody
Yes.
has it right now.
yes. Mercenaries.
Mercenaries still solid. Gun bunnies, oh my god.
Yes.
I'm still surprised they're not, I don't know, played more in like the big cons.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I guess it may be just because the really good players aren't playing Mercs, because Osram is terrifying. Kingmaker is really amazing.
Yeah.
So they definitely have some stuff going on there.
Like, I mean, Charles plays it here in our area, and he's winning or finishing in top 2 with those 2 lists, like, all the time.
That's true. That's another one that really defines the gun meta for us. The gun bunnies are, oh my god, so ridiculous. They're worse than the galvanizers. Anyways, so Merc seems very narrow in terms of its scope of stuff that's played.
Yeah, you don't see, I mean,
you see gun bunnies or Kingmaker. That's all you really get.
But the best of the 2.
So. I think that's what a buddy of ours, Josh, was playing them, and I think he just got tired of it. He's like, I don't want to just play these 2 lists.
Well, he played gun bunnies once.
No, he played it more than once.
No, he played it once.
Did he just play it once?
He just played it once.
Okay.
And he lost a really close game. So he just put it away. He didn't want to play it. So, so he plays Cricks now. So.
Yeah. Alright, so that's Mercs. They're very scary as well, but seem to be a bit of a dark horse sort of thing. Trollbloods?
Yeah, they're not in a good place. If you remember Mark II, what really made them good were their tiers in Mark II.
Theme lists, yeah.
So Runes of War and EE and all that stuff, which is what really made them super competitive. And their themes in Mark III, I mean, there are some really good troll players out there who are doing okay with them, but they're not where they were. They are definitely down a few pegs on the board.
Why do you have any speculation on why that is?
Well, they can't survive to the range, that's for sure. Like, rockets will just blow them off the table before they get there. I mean, you could try taking Ragnar to ignore one of the die, but they still get tenderized. You try to take Doomy 3 to heal when you get hit, and they still get tenderized. Like, they also
what
don't
about
have...
Gunny? He's got that feat that shuts down.
One turn,
I know.
and Gunny is solid, and he's taken, so...
I think for me, the problem with Trolls is kind of almost the same problem with Cricks, where they're an infantry faction. Like, the Warbeasts are okay, but they're supposed to rely more on their infantry in terms of a faction, and infantry doesn't survive in this meta. It doesn't get there. And the Troll Gun infantry are not Winter Guard infantry. The cavalry are not Storm Lances. They don't get delivered the same.
They need to come out with something to make them a little more survivable in the way in, because like, a lot of people are taking a lot of the beasts, which is what PP has said they want to see the big guys on the table, which, you know, you try taking them, but ouch, they're just gone.
Yeah. I don't know. I played like 4 games of Trolls, tried out some ideas, and I think maybe there was something with the Impaler there, but it was still, yeah. You play anything the really strong casters like Haley 2 or something, and they just run circles around you. It's not even fun. So Trollbloods we haven't been seeing very much, and when we do,
I'm trying.
They're getting crushed.
I'm trying.
I guess the stuff that people have been playing with some success is like Ragnar.
Yeah. I'm trying to do Horrible 2 right now.
Sounds bad.
Yeah, I've changed my list. I'm doing Power of Dunia now.
Okay.
So I get to fully load the stone up like turn 1 because I don't have to cast my spells.
Yes.
So we'll see how that works.
Okay.
And then I figured boosted PAL 14s from the Rune Shapers might be fun.
Yeah.
So I've kind of like tweaked it a little bit. We'll see. I'm probably going to lose.
Are you talking about boosted? How do they get boosted? Do you put the
feet?
The feet, as long as the target's on fire, they get boosted?
They get boosted.
Yeah, boosted 14s are good.
Yeah, that's why I was like, oh, okay, well, instead of
that's if any Rune Shapers are alive by that point. Anyways.
Beasts they want to shoot, and they can hide behind Mountain King.
Yes. Okay, so that's Trolls.
Yeah.
Don't seem like they're in a good place. No. Circle Ouroboros.
Oh, God.
Why do you say, oh, God?
Because you play them, and then they're... Like, Wormwood is still so good. The Sentry Stones are still so good. They're toolboxy. It doesn't matter what you bring, you have answers to a lot of the stuff out there. I don't know, you play against, 7 or 8 heavies, and you feel like you're threatened all the time, but...
I think in terms of the meta, I feel like this faction is very reactive. I feel like I gotta take Wormwood because of all the freaking guns and stuff, and then the other list is seems like very in flux right now. It used to be Una 2 was Otto.
Was super good.
Before that was Tanith, but now there seems to be a whole bunch of contenders. Kruger 2, Tanith maybe, Balder 2 is definitely kind of a thing. Even though there's Blast and Wraithbane and all that sort of stuff out there to mitigate his feat and his spells. I think they're in a decent spot. I don't think they're defining the meta.
No, they're not Una 2ing it like they were.
No. Exactly.
Una 2 was like, oh god, you had to plan for that, which is why you started seeing Nemo 3 or even Nemo 1 could play into it a little better because...
Yeah, I played an OTC and there was a guy who had Nemo 1 and I dropped Wormwood. And he was like, this is my Una drop. And I'm like, that's great. You don't play Una into Cygnar. So sort of another one of my problems with Circle is it feels like you're list strapped into like certain things. Like Pure Blood, Double World Weird, Double Sentry Stone is like fairly standard in almost every...
Because they're so good.
Because they're so good.
Yeah,
so in every list.
It's like, oh, woe is you.
And there's that guy in, whatever it is, the Netherlands or Sweden or something like that, the Cygnar player, that posted a couple lists, and they're almost identical. It's like Wormwood and Kruger, and you can just like swap out the casters. It's identical lists. And I think from a list building standpoint, that's really bad. You don't want lists that function so similarly. But yeah, there's a lot of threats in terms of what Circle has to deal with, and coming from a Circle player who has like had a background of Bradius and Kruger 2, Morvana and Mark 2, and then Una 2 and stuff like that, where you were the question asker, like, do you have an answer to my crazy shit? And now it's like, I have to build a pairing with a weakness. Like, I don't know how to deal with this.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Keep crying.
So anyways, Legion of Everblight.
Well, I watch too much things on the internet, and JVM destroys everybody. Mm-hmm. But he really is good at metaing the meta.
Yes,
like he knows how to build his list
and,
and has an answer to everything. And sometimes he's in a dodge situation where he says, I don't want to play that. And if he gets lucky and doesn't, he wins the tournament or the con or whatever. Legion it's a weird... I couldn't do it, but they can still seem to pull it off. So
I feel like they're in a similar situation to Circle, where they're not...
They don't want to see the 10 heavies across the table.
Oh, no.
But, they can... I mean, Khador's probably the one that they're trying to dodge the most.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't think they have any decent answers to that. I mean, their standard sort of approach before was like Lilith 3, just because she has Wind Wall, so she has some sort of protection against a lot of the ranged stuff, and she also projects good assassination threat. But with the coming of the Khador theme, that gives sack pawn on the Winter Guard for the caster, she is not going to get any assassinations. So it's... Yeah, I think that's the main problem. For a lot of those games, it was like, well, you're going to bring all those heavies and all those rockets, or with Cygnar, or your Stormwall and all that crap, but I'm just going to assassinate your caster. And there's like always a play that you could sort of manage to work through that.
Move
but now
this guy,
like,
get a line of sight, boom, frozen, and you're dead.
Now with Khador, it's like, you can't do that. You have to get through like 10 sack pawns or something like that. And that's... But yeah, JVM has been playing Twins, he's been playing Fianna. Fianna is a bit of a bugaboo as well, because you usually play her in tier and she negates advanced deployment. She plays a very fast list. With her feet, the Angels and Nerfs and Seraphs and stuff like that all get up to high defense, and then if you use the terrain that's on the table as well...
More. High defense plus dodge or something.
Yes, so she's capable of delivering that serious melee threat, and with some of her buffs, they crank out some serious damage as well. Anything else this Legion's been playing that you can really think of?
I still see some Thag 1.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen him since they nerfed the Hellmouth thing with the Sacravol collecting their souls and stuff.
That was pretty crazy.
It was. Callus 2 is new. I wouldn't say I've seen a ton of him. I mean, we've seen one individual playing a fair bit of it, but yeah, like I said, they seem very reactive. Although JVM just sort of makes his own meta. Scorn.
I mean, you're supposed to be scared of them. Apparently, there's a cat list out there with lots of kitties jumping all over you.
Makeda or something.
I have yet to play them, but I mean, again, I haven't played many tournaments since the OTC, anyways. So I mean, they're out there.
I did play against a Scorn player at Captain Con in the team tournament, and he had one unit of cats with Xerxes 1. And he put some spell on them or something that made them faster, and they were tough, no knockdown, and defense. Maybe they had Defender's Ward, so like defense 14 or 15 with dodge and all that crazy shit. Very difficult to deal with. And I was playing Una 2, and just like for 2 turns, there's like cats jumping all over her and stuff. It was insane. That was 1 unit. So
imagine if there was 2.
If there was 2, I'd imagine it gets kind of crazy.
I do think Scorn got a bunch of buffs. I just don't think it's hit the table yet. At least in our area,
it hasn't been digested.
I know a couple of the players have switched to them.
Yes,
we just haven't seen enough of it yet.
Haven't seen enough of it too. I think Makeda 1 is very popular as an anti-range list because she gives shield guard to all her battle group when you combine that with the Kriya's Animus, which is back.
The last local we had 10 players. It was a smaller turnout, but
Yeah.
20% of them were playing Scorn.
There you go.
First round one, they had to play each other.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to playing some Scorn as well and seeing how they are doing. The Cats list seems like a bit of a hard question list, which is kind of cool. So hopefully they
see it.
You have to see them leaping all over your face. It's very unsettling. Okay, so that's Scorn and Minions.
Minions, I still don't. I mean, we have to change our pig shirt.
They went through a little heyday thing where they could throw the snake at you.
Yeah, that was
from
fun.
a million miles away. But
I mean, they're still out there. I still see almost every tournament there is somebody playing Minions.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, it's mostly gators. You don't really see pigs at all. So
Yeah.
I guess our shirts "Pig Sucks" still valid. Minions not so much.
They are better than they were, but they're definitely not defining the meta in any sort of manner. I mean, with the one player that was at X Planet, he's reacting to the meta, right? He's trying to build lists to deal with something. Like he plays a game against something that's totally trashed, and he's like, I need to build a list specifically to try to deal with this type of thing.
Right.
And so I feel like they're extremely reactive to the environment, to the meta.
So how do you find yourself building your circle list right now? Are you asking the questions like you used to, or are you
no? It's
now just trying
it's
to
completely
answer?
reactive. I mean, in terms of the circle casters, a lot of them are just out because they don't have the defenses. So they either don't defend their army or they don't defend themselves enough to survive in a meta that's so gun oriented. Stealth is good, but a lot of the circle infantry is anti-infantry, so they don't get used.
Because there's not enough infantry out there.
Even if you're banking on such a narrow chance that there's going to be infantry, right?
Yeah.
You need infantry like storm lances that kill infantry and heavies, right? Circle infantry doesn't do that.
Steamroller 17.
17, that's another sort of caveat. Hopefully
Could
that changes the
change
meta
that.
quite a bit. I'm looking forward to it.
I think they're going to try to use that to balance the list out a little bit, to make you take more infantry. So, like, what we've been hearing is that, the only way...
actively encourages it.
Yeah, the only way to score on X zone is with infantry. The only way to score on, circle zone is Warbeast Jacks or something.
Yeah, I almost think that there has to be an additional thing where you can only contest that zone with infantry.
I think that's what the key is there.
Because if you're like, hey, I still brought 10 jacks,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
two
I
jacks
just
is stand in the
everything.
zone, doesn't really actively encourage infantry.
But at the same time, if that's the case, then the infantry that's in there are like Weapon Master Menoth dudes who are like, we'll kill that jack, right? So it's...
No, they won't.
Yeah.
Because the right Winter Guard, whatever. I only brought 6 jacks and 3 units of Winter Guard. We'll see. I'm hopeful. I'm very hopeful of the meta. So in terms of, we'll do our little ranking system here.
Oh boy.
S tier factions.
Right now, well, how many do you want to put in there? Because I definitely would
3.
say...
3 tops.
Khador, Signar, and then it's almost a tie between Mercs and Retribution.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, maybe. I was going to say maybe Circle up there, but Circle doesn't ask the question anymore, so I'd put them in A tier. Yeah, I'd definitely say Circle, Signar and Khador. I don't know about a third.
Signar and Khador, yeah, I definitely agree. I think Retribution, and I'd agree, Retribution and Mercs are kind of like on the cusp. They're
I think if Retribution, or if Mercs had one more list...
Yes. Right now they're almost too pigeonholed into 2 very predictable
Or
lists.
like one more caster, like so they have like 3 or 4 casters that could take those and make it work.
Yeah.
Then I would say yes, because they could change it enough. But right now I'd say yes. Signar, Khador for sure, and then
A tier.
A tier I would go Retribution, Mercenaries, Circle, and then right underneath it, because there hasn't been enough time, is Convergence.
Right.
Because of how annoying that's going to be.
Okay. I don't know. I'm going to put them in B tier because I think that
Well, that's what I'm saying.
there's not
Right
the player
underneath
base.
it, right? Like
Yeah.
right on.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's.
I think they're in a position where they could really upset the meta.
Yeah. And then everything else to me would be ranked pretty much. I mean, Legion of
Top,
Everblight.
gotta go 3. Gotta go 3, bottom 3.
Bottom 3.
Bottom
That's
3 crappies.
Minions,
Yep.
Trolls, Cricks.
I totally agree. Unfortunately. Hopefully that's going to change, but yeah.
I mean,
totally agree
it's so
with that.
sad. It's so
Yes.
sad.
So that's our lengthy ramble on the state of the meta, and like I said, heavily colored by our own experience.
Yes, for sure.
Within Southern Ontario.
So the funny thing was, at the end of Mark II, I mean, I was playing Khador anyways then, but Mark II, we knew Mark III was coming. I have 4 factions. Cygnar, Khador, Crix, Trolls. And I was betting that I was like, one of these has to come out on top. I'm like,
It's a good spread.
I've got a little bit of everything, and I got 2.
You got 2?
Khador.
Cygnar and Khador.
And the other 2, exact opposite, right to the bottom.
It's just too bad you're terrible at playing them.
This is true. This is true.
Well, I wish you luck with playing Trolls.
I'm gonna have some fun.
That's important, for sure.
That's all I'm looking for.
All right, so leave us some comments. Tell us what you think, or what your state of your local meta
Yeah,
is.
we kind of gave you our ranking. We'll put it up and post it maybe like here. There'll be a display of
which is totally definitive and applies to all metas across the entire world.
because what we say matters.
Yes. So tell us what you think. Bye.